Hello and welcome. You're watching Your Trades with me, Mansi Dave and Kavita Thaplial, and together we are going to help you understand how the markets did pan out today, how the closing was, so that you can create your strategies for tomorrow. But first things first, we start with the market. The market started really well, Kavita, and the market really ended well as well.
Absolutely, though slightly range bound. The day's high on Nifty was almost around 25 to 66, but then we can say that small caps were good today, stellar performance from their end, and also sectoral indices, almost all 13 of them were doing good today in today's trade. PSC bucks the trend, although it ends in green, but otherwise, if you talk about IT, auto, FMCG, reality was slow initially, but then later on we also saw positive ending over there. To give you the top gainers that ended today were Titan, almost 1.5% up, Infosys more than 2% up, M&M also saw gains of around 2%, Grasim, JSW Steel, Tata Consumer, all up by almost 1%. We have a very small list of losers today, but BEL, Kotak Mahindra Bank, Aisha, ONGC, almost around BEL was close to 3% down, but then almost 1 to 0.5% down, Kotak Bank, Aisha, Axis Bank, IndusInd Bank. So a lot of stock-specific action, but if you talk about the overall trend in the market, it was good, slightly range-bound though. But then let's also get you the expert views as far as tomorrow's trade is concerned. We need to know what are the picks for today.
That's right, and one needs to keep an eye on the India VIX, the fear indicator as well, which is constantly trading in relief. And as we clearly see, 14 to 15 were the levels it was ranging, and now it is 12.97 to be precise, where we did see India VIX a 5% downtrend, which in itself is a relief and a positive sentiment for the market. Let us now understand what your strategy for tomorrow should be. And joining with us is Amar Singh, Senior Vice President, Research Angel One. Amar, thank you so much for joining with us and giving your time to ET Now. To start with, let us know what was your view for the market today. How did it pan out, and what is your view index-wise tomorrow?
Yeah, I would say that we have been bullish on the market for quite some time, and despite the Iran-Israel war and crude oil prices moving up sharply higher, because somewhere or other the markets were clearly demonstrating that it seems to, or I would say rather shrugging it off, because the way the markets were holding up firm, and also as you rightly said, the India VIX is a significant indicator that also wasn't really worried. So clearly that showed that something or the other was unexpected lines, that this conflict is going to be resolved in a short span of time, and that's what we've seen, hopefully. And what we've seen is that across the board, be the large caps, be the mid caps, and the small caps, we've seen across the board, across sectors, significant move, and also the advanced decline, which is a very good indicator. That also has been extremely positive in favor of the bulls for quite some time. So overall, if you look at Nifty earlier was meeting with resistance around the 25,000, 25,100 zone. That has been taken out. Nifty has closed today above the 25,200 mark. So clearly showing that the zone of resistance which Nifty was facing, that has been taken out, and sustaining above the 25,200 levels. Nifty could rally towards its all-time highs, which was around 26,277. So there is a possibility that we could witness a sharp up move, provided Nifty sustains over the 25,100, 200 zone. And as far as what we're seeing is Bank Nifty has definitely performed or outperformed in that sense, because Bank Nifty is very close to its record highs, which was 57,000, currently it's around 56,600. So banks and financials have definitely aided a lot in Nifty. Nifty's up move, and also now we are seeing across the board moves coming from other sectors as well. So on dips, it's a buy.
All right, Amar, hi, Kavita this side, and thank you so much for sharing your view on Nifty and Bank Nifty. But then what about your picks and your recommendation that one should be having on radar for tomorrow?
Yeah, I would say that one can look at initially to start with is Birlasoft from the tech space, because this is one stock which was consolidating, and I would say it's moved out of the consolidation zone. Earlier, it was unable to breach the 420, 415, 420 zone on the downside. It was strongly supported on the 400, and the stock has corrected almost from 800 levels. If I go back, and see. So in the quarter of March last year, the stock had made a high of 861. And from there, the stock has corrected all the way towards 330. Currently, it's around 440 odd levels. It's moving out from the oversold territory. The intermediate term trend is quite positive. Short term, we've seen some significant volume buildup. So this is one stock one can look at buying at the current levels with a stop loss of 423 and a target of 467 on the upside. And the second stock which I'd like to talk about is Titan. Because if I look at Titan, what we are seeing is that the stock was in for consolidation, was unable to breach the 35,3600 zone of resistance. From there, it corrected towards 3,400 levels. And today has been a sharp day for Titan, up by almost 3.5%. And also what we are seeing is that last two trading sessions, not precisely two, I would say on the 20th of June, the volumes were extremely high, though the move was very restricted. So that clearly showed that a lot of buying has happened on that day. And today we are seeing a break above that level. So sustaining above these levels, the stock has a potential to rally towards the 37.95 level for a stop loss of 35.45. So this is one stock one can keep a close watch on.
And Titan was doing positive rounds today owing to a good positive brokerage report also, about which we'll talk in the bulletin ahead. But thank you so much, Amar, for your stock specific recommendation as well as your view on the market. Let's go across to Shrishti now. She's standing by to take us through what she spotted on the technicals today. Shrishti.
Well, yes, we have spotted two counters on the breakout side. Actually, both the counters are from the Tata Group of companies. First up, let's have a look at Titan, because this was one of the newsmakers today on the back of a positive brokerage note. But throughout the day, it was indeed one of the top gainers on the Nifty 50 side. And take a look at what's really been happening on the chart front, because yes, the stock was in a strong up move. It tried to consolidate and it was trading in a channel. But now a breakout of this particular channel is what we have seen in today's trading session. And not just that, look at the up move. The stock is now trying to cross its previous high. It actually managed to do that, and along with that, it did take a bounce exactly from its 20-day moving average to continue this particular uptrend. So this is the first stock that we wish to highlight on the breakout side. Moving on to the next one, that is Tata Chemicals on the chart, because yes, of course, the chemical space has been buzzing a lot, but after a while we have seen decent moves coming in on Tata Chemicals. Why so? Because see the stock on the chart as well, because the stock has been continuing its uptrend. It did consolidate for a bit, tried to say it takes support exactly at its 20-day moving average, and now making a break above that and tried to cross past that 20-day moving average support line as well. Very well supported by the derivative side long build up, and this is the second counter that we wish to flag off on the technical front. So these are the breakout stocks. Back to you.
So much, Shrishti. But let's move on. Ashwini Agrawal, founder, Demeter Advisor, list out sectors he finds opportunities in, and manufacturing is one of the themes which stands out to him, isn't it?
There are select opportunities in manufacturing as well. In various areas, whether it's related to exports or whether it's related to domestic economy. I think defense, railways are quite pricey, but some of the core engineering companies are still looking all right. There are domestic services plays outside of financial services where one can look at. Now, I have to say that across the board, valuations are challenging. Okay, so it's not that there are any screaming buys out there, but I think relative to growth, you might find a few ideas here and there, but it's becoming more and more difficult to find very appealing bottom-up ideas.
So that was Ashwini Agrawal, bullish on manufacturing, and as a theme he considers market and in particular manufacturing, which will do positive in the near future. Talking about the brokerage, Titan in particular, onto our radar, Macquarie has maintained outperform on Titan on the back of healthy demand. The house is hopeful of steady product mix improvement. Snehi is here with all the details. Over to you, Snehi.
Well, yes, so Titan is a stock in focus today and is doing very well on the back of this positive report that Macquarie has come out with this morning, wherein they're positive on the stock. They've maintained an outperform rating with a target price of 4,150 rupees per share. They say that there's healthy demand. They expect healthy demand to aid Q1 jewelry growth for the jewelry segment growth for Titan. And they're saying that they're seeing this healthy demand in the jewelry segment despite the recent elevation in gold prices that we have seen. They believe that jewelry EBIT margins have bottomed in FY25 and now it's a one-way up when it comes to these margins. They see 21% growth in jewelry sales and EBIT growth in Q1, and they also believe that the adoption pace of lab-grown diamonds that could be threatened slightly if these new GIA certifications are adopted, if these recent changes in these certifications are adopted. On the flip side, they're also saying that there is demand recovery seen in mined diamonds. This is a segment in which Titan is a big player, mined diamonds, so that's positive for Titan. They're hopeful of a steady product mix improvement going ahead, and they're also confident that Titan will achieve that 11 to 11.5% band guidance that they have given for their FY26 jewelry EBIT margin. And lastly, they're saying that Titan has a market share of 7% in the jewelry industry that has been growing very firmly at a 13% CAGR over the last 15 years, which means Titan is a very strongly positioned player in this segment. So all in all, positive note coming in from Macquarie on Titan. The stock is doing very well in today's trade.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Snehi, for that update. But then let's also cut across to Rabindra, who's got stock in action for us. Rabindra.
Well, Grasim industry is in focus where the commercial production of the resins manufacturing block with an installed capacity of 22 million litre per annum has now started at Mahat plant, which shall help to meet resins requirement for the manufacturing of paint in-house. Apart from this, Aurobindo Pharma is also in focus where Cura Biotics, which is a wholly owned subsidiary of Aurobindo Pharma, has obtained a marketing authorization from UK MHRA for one of its drug. Apart from this, RITES is in focus where RITES has bagged 29 crore contract from Gujarat Urban Development Company for TPI services. Moving to next, on back of brokerage note, India Mart is also in focus where Nuvama has come out with their note and they have upgraded the stock from reduced to buy and high target price to rupees 3,800. Apart from this, Indian Hotel is also in focus on back of brokerage note where JP Morgan has initiated coverage with overweight rating and target price rupees 890. They say that the FY30 target being delivered ahead of the schedule. And lastly, Mahanagar Gas to focus on the back of brokerage note where Citi has maintained the buy rating with target price rupees 1700 and they have opened positive catalyst watch. They believe that the CGD sector consolidation is inevitable with larger CDGs like MGL being potential beneficiary. So back of this, MGL2 is in focus.
Those are all the major stocks in focus on the exchanges on the back of news flows. Moving ahead, we are covered for the next few months on rare earth magnets, says Tata Motors passenger vehicle MD Shailesh Chandra. He also mentions the company is looking to cut dependence on rare earth magnets over the medium to long term. Listen in.
We have coverage for next few months, and we believe that in short term, all the efforts of the government, they have been supporting us a lot through SIAM and ACMA. We are really coordinating with them. Ministry of Commerce has also reached out to the ambassador in China. So a lot of coordination is happening, and I believe that with all these efforts we should be able to sort this issue out. There are solutions in mid to long term that I think we are already considering and we'll work towards. Some work we'll collaboratively do with the government, but eventually the idea would be to reduce the dependence on these high rare earths. There are about 17 elements which come into focus. For us it is about 7, and we are seeing how we can start reducing the constitution of these elements in the components in which it is where there is exposure, and if possible, if we can just completely avoid the use of these high rare earth and find alternatives, those would be the mid to long term actions.
That's a Tata Motors exclusive to ET now, but then let's go across Varun to get us all the cues that are on radar.
So the most important event to watch out would be Nifty expiry, because after the geopolitical tensions receding, we have seen Nifty actually showing a rally till 25,200 mark. So let's see where the Nifty expiry actually happens. Other than this, in global events, you have US goods trade data, also the revised GDP numbers and initial jobless claims coming. So this would impact the overall US market. So keep an eye on this event. You also have some of the earnings like Nike, H&M and Walgreens Boots would be delivering the earnings. So keep an eye on this. In India, Bank of India would be having a board meeting to actually consider fundraising, and also Nestle is having a board meeting to actually consider bonus issue. So this is going to be an important day for the shareholders of Nestle. Also, if you want dividend from Cipla, Syngene International, Bajaj Finserv, HDFC Bank, so this would be the last day to buy the shares to be eligible for dividend. In some of the other global events, you have EU Leaders Summit in Brussels, you have Richmond Fed President speaking, and also you have Bank of England Governor who would be speaking. So these are some of the other important global events that you need to keep an eye on. But the most important event would be Nifty expiry.
Thanks for all of that, Varun. So those are the cues, triggers and economic indicative action which one needs to keep focus on. Moving ahead, India's transition to cleaner energy has made large strides towards the net zero goal. Yet recently, it slipped from a rank 63 to 71 on the World Economic Forum's Energy Transition Index. With over 220 gigawatt of installed renewable capacity and ambitious targets, India dropped from 7th rank to the 10th in the Climate Change Performance Index India. Yet a core reason for its ranking overall is the nation's strides in solar, wind and carbon offsetting initiatives. This progress is central to India's energy leadership, a conversation that will be dealt with in depth at the Times Network India Climate Summit on June 27th. Join us as we explore where the focus is on scaling renewables and achieving net zero by 2030. And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of Your Trades, but there's a lot lined up on the other side. So you stay tuned with ET Now.